Anyways, usually be talking. So.
My bad. I usually catch them like midway through.
Thank you guys for coming on tonight. I'm so excited.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be really interesting. I'm super excited to film this special episode, which we have not started the recording for, but I'm going to do that after I give a little disclaimer.
No worries.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Thursday Thoughts. Today we are still filming a special episode for Juneteenth. So we're actually gonna doubly use this content. So just to give you guys that, we're gonna have a little bit of interesting conjectures just for our filming of that other content. So we'll be doing the script in a second, and we'll also be doing the wrap a little earlier in the show, and then we're gonna go on to the special counsel update. So we're just gonna do this for about 20 minutes. And here we go. So let me restart this. Oh, that's fine. Record. Okay.
The hostess with the mostest, knowing all the things to do.
Welcome back to the Federal Way Black Collective's weekly live stream show, Thursday Thoughts. Information is power, and we, the Federal Way Black Collective, consider ourselves a powerful vehicle of providing factual and relevant information to the public. We keep you up to date with education, youth, city policy and politics, as well as current and relevant events that happen daily. We are made up of Lynn, myself, political strategist extraordinaire, Lamont, community advocate and owner of Lifestyles Barber Academy, James, the silent assassin, and of course, Drew, our favorite producer, is at home because due to COVID, we are all staying at home. We are sponsored by Rugged Genius, EvaCook.com, Pretty Grind Entertainment, Positive Vibes, located in the Common Mall, just reopened. I was there today. Get in there. I just missed the vibe. But if you would like to shop online, you can go to positivevibes1111.com. So how are we doing tonight?
Doing well.
Doing good.
Hey. So one thing I love about Juneteenth is that it's just us, y'all. What is Juneteenth?
So Juneteenth is the celebration of that started in Galveston, Texas in 1865, when the enslaved people there found out that they had been free for 2.5 years. So that's the celebration. I think that it's important to put that point up because when we say the ending of enslavement, it was actually 2.5 years. So those people there were actually legally free and were still held in bondage. So that's, that's the short version.
The short version, huh? I mean, it only took 400 years to even get there.
Right? Listen. And we still ain't free. I told somebody, I was walking around my block, just right quick. I was walking around my block today and I said, Happy Juneteenth to this couple. And she was like, oh, Happy Juneteenth. We still got a ways to go. I mean, are we really free? And I was like, amen, ain't we all? It's great to see that.
Amen, Queen, amen.
Right?
I think we're getting closer though. I really feel like, especially right now, right? This moment, it's serious. People is not playing.
Real shit.
I feel like this is probably my favorite Juneteenth.
Right? I agree. I really
Especially
think
after the week we've had, the week of great content we've been able to put out.
Yeah.
Why don't you run that down, Angel? Because you were integral, especially in the Federal Way Black Collective's partnership. How'd that run down? What is it that we did this week?
Sure. Yeah. So this week we partnered with the Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle, Black Lives Matter Seattle King County, the Federal Way Black Collective, and many other partners to put together an online Juneteenth week 2020. So this came about, COVID was happening. We were like, wait, Juneteenth is approaching. What are we about to do? Right. And so we got to planning, and we've had a children's program with Catrice of Teaching with Love and Care Learning Center every day of the week, getting our babies right. Don't get me to lying about what was on which day, but we have had some really great content, some really great discussions highlighted. Saturday is going to be a day of Black pride and joy. And so we're going to have lots of music going on. We're going to have tomorrow, Chef Eduardo is going to be given his expertise and giving us a Juneteenth recipe. And if you haven't had a chance to look at the American History Traveling Museum by Delbert Richardson, that will also be highlighted tomorrow. And I tell you, if you haven't had a chance to see it, it is really powerful stuff. And so
I think what I'm gonna do tonight is repost the episode we did with Delbert so that our audience could go ahead, and if you want to catch up or get a little quick preview before tomorrow, take a look.
Yeah.
Because it was like 30 weeks ago. We've been at this a long time.
Y'all have been holding it down, I tell you. Even before it was popular, right? Being the Federal Black Collective.
Often imitated, never duplicated,
Right. It's that Black girl magic.
It just is. But I don't want to steal the show. James, what is your favorite part of Juneteenth?
Definitely, it's the fact that a lot of groups and a lot of organizations were involved in making sure it's a success. Because, even right now, a lot of people didn't think it would happen. We got the virus situation going on. So the fact that this is planned about 3 to 4 months ago to make sure it was virtual, because some to be honest, some events you can kind of shut down. Some organizations might look and say, well, we can just try again for next year. But, the ones that were involved for this one, giving complete, gratitude for Urban League. And also, I guess, Table 100, the Federal Black Collective, and many of the other ones that were united to make this happen. They figured, why can't we just unify in a different format? If we can't be there in person, we can bring the events to the people. We can showcase it to them. They can still see what's going on. They can at least have a visualization. And this could be something that they can embark upon. So the next time they do have a live event, they already kind of got a lot of things they could soak in. So it's great that people were still able to engage in it, something that they can do, because there's not a lot of things going on right now. So you want to make sure that Juneteenth still continues to exist, and a lot more involvement can continue for the next time people are able to actually be there in person.
Yeah,
I
appreciate that. Yeah, and
I
just want to clarify, I'm so proud of the team, because you said 3 months. We actually just started planning. I just got on the planning team last week. And a couple weeks before that is about a month ago. And the reason that I say that is because it has been an incredible team, an incredible push to make sure that people have something to mark this occasion in this crazy year that we're in. So I just really wanted to highlight, it has been an amazing team of people pulling this all together.
I'm really excited. It wasn't that long ago that we came to the table for the Juneteenth event. I just want to what was integral was the work we've done with other organizations. So we've been grassroots a long time. And so we've been building towards this moment. And what I think people aren't really even able to take a breath to realize is that please don't forget, as hard as this work is, as tired as we all are, it matters and it is working. It is working. All over. If you look in states that are mad racist, some of them are starting to be the first.
Yeah.
The first states to defund, the first state, it ain't flying like that.
Right. Yeah.
People are tired. Our people have had the time to sit, and this was so beautiful about Juneteenth, and the fact that it's what my mom always says is for such a time as this, right? So right now, we're in this moment, but it doesn't all have to be bad. Yes, we are angry and we are hurting, but there is joy. that Black joy, that unity, that is Juneteenth.
Right. That's such a powerful point. Yeah. And I think I've seen, I don't want to say arguments, but I've seen the point that like Juneteenth is the real Independence Day, because July 4th, not every American was free, right?
Mhm.
So even for our white accomplices, as I like to call them, right? Juneteenth is your Independence Day also, because that's when everybody was free.
Exactly.
Right? So yeah, that's a powerful point right now. And I think, I know we're on the Federal Way Black Collective's live stream, and we also need to acknowledge like a lot of the changes that have been made are absolutely led by Black women, let me first just say. And supported, right, by many people that it hasn't been personal to them until now. And I'm glad that it's personal to them. And I'm glad that they're joining us in Juneteenth celebrations. I'm glad that they're joining us at the marches and in their institutions and saying, hey, no, Juneteenth needs to be a day off so that I can learn about my whiteness. You know?
Man, that's true though.
Right?
And a lot of people look at it like, it's interesting to me because in my personal opinion, most Black people, we really just want to achieve unity. We're not trying to become the oppressor, right?
No.
Now, some of us are misguided, and because of white supremacy, it's difficult to know the true steps.
Mhm.
But we are truly just wanting everybody to be equal.
Right.
So what I really think is powerful about Juneteenth, when we truly know the history, when we truly understand it, and obviously that's a place of education we need to prioritize, but that's when you truly see unity.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I think I just thinking about Juneteenth, like, since I'm on the planning committee, I've had a lot of time to reflect on the holiday, right? And my mind keeps going back to the 2.5 years in between, right? So the Emancipation Proclamation, I can talk. The Emancipation Proclamation was signed in 1863, right? And 1864 passed, 1865 almost passed, right? And like, I feel like for America, we've kind of been in that space up until now. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Do you get
I feel you.
Down? You know what I mean?
We've been in a space of where we just been stuck there.
Right. Where it's like on paper we're free, but our circumstances don't look like it, right? Because we're still getting killed by the police. We're still have disproportionate maternal death rates, right? We still have issues in the education system. We still have issues in all of these different systems. And so we're free on paper, but how can we tell, right? And so now it's an opportunity for us to really get free now that people are seeing that and acknowledging that in a deeper way.
I'm excited for that.
Me too.
I think it's something that a lot of people have quietly wanted, and what's interesting to me is I feel like the biggest thing that we can do to respect and celebrate Juneteenth is further the call of all power to the people.
I know that's right. Say that again.
Further the call. Wait, let me back it up. The best way to honor Juneteenth is to further the call of all power to the people.
Yeah. So what do you mean by that? Expand on that.
What I mean by that is that the greatest way that our society truly disadvantages us all is by forcing us to go to leaders, right? Because that's what's easiest for them. But what's easiest for the people is for them to come to us. And so we're navigating spaces where we can make sure that we are just as relevant, just as educated, just as resourced, so that we're in equal footing. When you navigate, and this is your purpose of educating your people, and you reach a point where your budget is the same as the city's, or your goal is that. Also know that budget is power. Our power is in unity. Do you see the same framework that works, right? So if we connect all of our services, all of us do so many things. It's a network, right?
Mm-hmm.
That network has power. But see, we also have to be careful. You have to empower your network, and you can't belittle, degrade, downgrade. Everybody plays a vital role, and as long as everyone is respected, there should be no extra.
Right.
It's just
I hear
beautiful.
you. When you said that, it reminded me of the People's Institute. They have a phrase that they call networking a net that works, right? So it's not just these people, but like I have an actual relationship with you, and that's where our power lies, right? And also in oh shoot, it flew out of my mind. It'll come back. But that piece is really powerful. Like not just knowing people. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Also, when you said we have to respect each other and be on equal footing with each other. We also need some conflict resolution tools, right? Because humans are humans. Humans are humans, and there's going to be issues. Families don't get along. If I don't get along with my family, how am I gonna get along with a stranger? You know what I mean? So that's an opportunity.
You want to know some truth, sis? You want to know some real truth?
Yeah.
If we truly want to be community leaders, and there's areas of conflict in your life, and you're not bothered by hypocrisy, check your privilege.
Right.
And that's me as a Black woman. There's some privilege I have there too, right? There's the privilege that I want to represent the community, and that they don't necessarily get a backdoor into my life. But it spills over, right? And if all power is truly with the people, then they're going to see my life because I'm really in the trenches with them all the time.
Right.
I have to model better.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be fighting amongst ourselves about funding. That's trivial. Money is everywhere. Do you know they print it? Like it's like, come on. Like,
right.
There's more. We don't have to fight.
You're right.
How do we tell our communities that they can truly be success stories if we don't engage with them and teach them that every single problem, there's a way to address it?
And part of that also is seeing me on my way up, right? So if I see you, if we see each other and it's like, oh, okay, you used to live in the same apartments as me, and now you own a house on, so what do I need to do to get right there? You know what I mean? Also being together on that journey, right? Like, oh no, I don't know what that journey looks like because I'm not a homeowner, but
sis, no, you are a homeowner in training, and the collective got plans for that. So if you would like to schedule an appointment, we could get you connected to our local real estate agent, Mr. Lamont Stiles, and get you connected to get sure that you're ready.
Right.
So let me just interject real quick. The journey is the lesson. You see what I'm saying? Like everybody wants to bypass what the journey is. You see what I'm saying? Everybody wants to like it's like microwave it, and that's not what it is. You see what I'm saying? Like this, you're gonna have to put some effort into it. You're gonna have to put some discipline into it, but it's doable. You see what I'm saying? Like it's not like you can't do it. It's just that you can't keep doing what you're doing and get there. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to switch some things up. We're gonna have to show you the game and then put you in position to be able to take advantage. That's all it is. So in that, people want to bypass the journey. The journey is the lesson. Stop trying to bypass the journey. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be a billionaire, but some people, they're billionaires and they're terrible people. You see what I'm saying? Like that's not what it's about. If you're connected to the spiritual, if you're connected to the atmosphere, if you're connected to the soil, then man, like if you do what you're supposed to do, and you have the knowledge of the systems that are in place, we can take advantage of all of this stuff. But we have to teach each other, and it has to be from a standpoint of love and understanding. And this is righteous. This is not to have something just to have. This is to have and to respect it and understand that we need to pass this on to the next generation, and that's all it is. I think where we're at with it as Black people is like this whole Black Lives Matter and everything. Like everybody knows who we are. We need to step up to who we need to be, and if we do it righteously, then we can move accordingly. If we don't, then we're gonna fall back into this whole crab in a barrel type of situation. We have the information, we have the knowledge. Let's appreciate if somebody is ahead of us, that they're doing their thing and we're going to be there one day, and not hate on each other. And so again, like Lynn was saying, the whole situation where you're there, if in your mind you said that this is what you want to do, now all it is our actors have to catch up with it, and the information is there, the knowledge is there, and let's do it. But other than that, like, let's not bypass the journey. Like you know, like the kids, they have to know what it's like to suffer a little bit. They have to. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had said something one day where he was talking about Black what it was Veterans Day, and there were a lot of Black regiments in the army and in the military that wasn't being recognized. And the reason why he said was because he said nowadays they don't have the struggle like they had back then. It's a different type of struggle, so they're not relating it to what was going on back then, even though it's the same. You see what I'm saying? So they need a struggle, and that's what we're going through right now. Is they see somebody getting killed by a police officer, or they see some injustices that they have been seeing, but now they're getting support behind it, and it's like let's try to do something. So it's about the journey. It's about, we went through something, and now this is the outcome from it. We've been going through stuff, and these kids been going through stuff. So we're at where we're supposed to be, as far as, you know, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Are we? Do we go left, or do we go right? We're gonna support whatever it is, and the mistake, we just learn from that and keep going. And so, like the information that we're putting forth as a Black collective, as a collective of nonprofits and people that just care about the community, we might not agree on everything, but we agree that we want to do something for our community. And so the process, the journey is part of that. So let us embrace the journey, you know what I'm saying, and learn from whatever it is, whether it's good or it's bad. Let's learn from it and just continue to move forward. So I tip my hat to everything that you guys are doing, because what you're doing, Angel, and what you're doing, Lynn and James. I've been cutting James for 10 years, damn near.
First of all,
This
who
dude
is you
doing-
guys, bro? You're a founder. Just 'cause your work is not public, let's not play like you don't be at the board meeting.
Listen. Hey, only because I appreciate that, but I just like I was gonna get on James. Like, this dude James I've been cutting this dude as a client, a barber client, for damn near 10 years, and he's been giving me information for damn near 10 years. You know what I'm saying? I just want to recognize that we're doing what we're supposed to do and keep doing, and the journey is part of it. That's part of our story. That's what we tell our kids. That's what we tell the future, the youngsters, to, hey, this is the story. This is the African proverb that goes with, you know what I'm saying, the real life experience that goes with that proverb. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say that.
Well,
I appreciate
first of all, I just want to thank you guys so much for attending our Juneteenth segment. This is the first time we've had a focus, and this is also the first time that the City of Federal Way is going to recognize Juneteenth tomorrow morning.
That is so exciting.
If you are watching this recording on Saturday, then this information will not be relevant to you. But if you are with us now on live, then please join us tomorrow at Federal Way City Hall at 9 a.m. And thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, guys, stay with me. Sorry about that. So we were recording that for a special separate segment. We are not ending. Now we want to get to some home business, right? Back to our city. So Juneteenth is powerful, and that is why we've decided to like really focus and really show. I don't know. Y'all probably noticed like we've been walking around like we quiet, and we're not. We have a lot of active members. We have a lot of members that are ready to engage. We have a lot of members that have their own political and corporate capital and are ready to engage in the city of Federal Way. So this past week, we said it's time to go. It is Juneteenth week. There's a council meeting this week, and there's some things we got questions about. And I think the community, well, one of our favorite new members, we weren't going to do a show this week because of the fact that we have all of our Juneteenth content. And there is actually like episodes going right now, and we didn't want to disturb that. But when one of our members asked us to have an episode because of how powerful our council meeting was and of the other things coming up next week, we were like, we're going to honor that. So we would appreciate you guys coming at 9 a.m. tomorrow, but we also want to talk about what else happened at City Council. And Angel, I definitely want you to stay because I want you to ask the questions as a visual participant of someone that maybe you're not as into the thing, like, you know, you get our emails, right? But we're going to just break it down. We haven't done a council breakdown in a minute. So having you is helpful, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. Lamont, we was on the meeting. What was your perspective on why we needed to show up on Tuesday?
So so my perspective is this, right? My perspective is that we should have always been showing up. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't ever think that when it comes to our local community, I think that if there is a conversation that is being had as far as what we're going to do as a community, then we should be there. You see what I'm saying? Like that's what my personal take is on it. But as far as this particular meeting, how can I say this? I don't want to. So there are a lot of. It is popular to attack the police per se, right? I wouldn't say attack the police. I would just say let's work with them and let's find out a way to to couple having resources for certain populations and also dealing with real criminals. You see what I'm saying? And so when it comes to that, thank you, you as well. When it comes to that, like I think the city council reacts to whatever's going on, right? And people are going to be who they're going to be regardless. So they're going to show their true colors. And when we have people that engage them and call them out on their BS, I guess would be the way to say it, then we forward stuff. So we had a situation where we have the proclamation, we have the Black Lives Matter flag that's flying, and those were things that on the surface level it shows that there's solidarity between the city and Black people of color, but Black people in particular, but I would even say people of color because Latino and Pacific Islander in this area would be included in that. And so the importance of that is showing that we care about our community just as much as the people that say that they want more police or they don't care if there's police oversight. The police are right all the time. And so I think it's just important for us to show a stance saying that there is a population of people that say the police aren't always the answer. You know what I'm saying? There are other solutions to dealing with things in the community. And so, Lynn, you know, this is kind of like why the Black Collective was started, and so it's always show up. And um from what I could tell, I think Lynn, you said that it was a record for, I think it was a record for
I'm sorry,
call-ins.
I did not say that. I want to clarify. I didn't say that. Mayor Farrell said it,
Okay,
and I
okay, okay. Right. So I don't know if that was true or not. I'm just saying that by us being involved, I think it it helps forward the narrative. They can't say that oh well, we had these meetings and you guys didn't show up. They can't use that as an excuse.
Mhm.
We showed up, and so now this is what we want, and if you don't give it to us, then you can't say that you actually was trying to help our community. And so that's why I think it was important for us as far as the city council meeting. And we did have a lot of people that spoke on the proclamation and the flying of the flag, which again, you know what I'm saying, like that is, I'll never disagree. Martin and Malcolm, when they tried to get Martin to talk bad about Malcolm, he said, well, I don't agree with necessarily with everything that he's doing, but I agree with where he's trying to go. We agree to the same destination. And so that's where I'm at with it. Like, I'm for whatever symbols or you saying that you support us, but at the same time we need some actual action that comes with that. So we would like policy and resources. So I say that to say anybody that's watching this right now to support the Black Collective and what we're trying to do in this area and abroad.
Hey, and even more so though, I'd also like to say, like, we've been expanding our partnerships. The Black Collective is not trying to do all the work alone. I think the biggest thing that we're working on moving forward is the fact that every city needs a Black Collective. We all need to have this blueprint of relevance. I know that's right, Miss Ash, you right. We showed up and showed out. And I thank you so much for being on the program in the morning, Miss Ash. Y'all ready to hear from her?
But Miss Ash is an asset to the community.
Oh,
y'all not been, she's an elder and she's a teacher. So so Cass is tripping, like that's the resource that we need to tap into.
Yes. I don't, I'll be honest, sometimes this can feel a little lonely, but especially in Federal Way, I feel like even though the Black community and specifically has increased out here, and we're so used to being like a smaller minority group in the state of Washington, that once we got displaced, it just was like a little bit of a shocker. And so I feel like people have been struggling to find their place, struggling to figure out, like, and to be fair, there are Black families that have been here for a long time, but there's an influx, right? And so how do we reconnect? Like in Seattle, we kind of had our groove. We had kind of got our foothold on the programming, but once we got out of those zip codes, we were out here a little lost. And so it's not ever about, like, the Black Collective is never about me or Lamont or James. It's about our community, and it's about healing our community, and it is about moving forward. How do we move forward in a healthy way? How do we move forward in a way that our community is built? How do we move forward in a way that we are responsible and accountable? But I do kind of want to get on point, because let me tell you, our audience is keeping us accountable. They want about the inquest, which I don't believe was really covered at City Council, but we can definitely hop in there.
Inquest as far as what?
Right. Let me give you guys some backup or some backstory. So there are several families who have filed lawsuits against the South King County cities that were involved in, like, officer involved shootings or instances of brutality, right? And so then what happened is, in the lawsuit process, the city has the opportunity to file an inquest where it's kind of like digging for more information, but it's on the side of the victim, right? And sometimes, you know, maybe that's necessary. I'm sure there was a valid reason. I don't personally know it, but it's also not my job to research every single thing in the world.
Right.
So what I know for my people is that it doesn't work, and I'm trying to figure out how to make it work. So this is just the background. But all these families' lawsuits are on hold. It's kind of just a legal tactic, is how I understand it.
Okay.
Right. So here's a couple of things, and I just wanna so it's not a situation where we have to be fearful, but sometimes you have to be careful of what you ask for, right? And so the reason why I say that is because the inquest, like this is, and anybody that's listening to this and is looking at any, like if you play chess, like you have to look at the chess move. Like if you remove the police, like I saw some situations where they said the police was going to step back. If you remove the police, you have to understand that you have to have a community that's ready to step in to take the place of the police as far as crime is still going on. Like, you know, that when we went to the police, what did they say, Lynn? They said in so many words, like, we won't be able to protect you. Remember when we were talking about cutting their budget? They're like, in so many words, we might not be able to protect you. Mm-hmm. So all I'm saying is when we say that, we have to have an alternative to that. You see what I'm saying? And so let's talk about Chicago. Let's talk about New Orleans. Let's talk about LA. Let's talk about Brooklyn, New York, or the Bronx. Mm-hmm. Like, killing other, man. You see what I'm saying? So we need to have, like, this is where the Black Collective, the Federal Way Black Collective, the Tacoma Black Collective, this is where these organizations come in, because we have to have something that is going to basically step in. Because if we're talking about, and I'm talking about what you're talking when you're talking about these lawsuits, is because at the end of the day, where is that money going to come from? We already had the conversation, right? We was like, they wanted to get, exactly. And then what did they say? They wanted to get an insurance company in, right? Remember? They said, they was like, remember, dude was like, don't let them get the insurance company, because if they get the insurance company, then they can kind of do whatever they want to do because they got insurance. You know what I'm saying? So we got to pay attention to, like, man, don't just react to what's going on. Let's have a plan. You see what I'm saying? So when we're talking about these lawsuits, I'm all for lawsuits as far as holding them accountable, but we have to have something in place to combat if they say, guess what, we're not protecting you guys no more. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I don't mean to interrupt you, Lamont, but do the police protect us? I mean, I feel like at this point, with all of the research that we have, I think many of us don't feel protected by the police.
That's a fact.
So let me break down, like, what I feel like as far as an organization, like, our stance is on that. I feel like our stance is, in certain instances, there are very violent crimes that the police are equipped to deal with, right?
Yep.
But the problem is, as a society, we have just decided that we're only going to invest in this solution. And that doesn't make sense. Why do we have all of these other types of social workers, social programs, if only one solution would work? But we have to put our money where our mouth is. And right now, we're only putting our money in one solution. So we can't even imagine the possibility of something reimagined that could quite possibly be better.
Like, what if the money from the police department was put into the schools in a way that disrupted the school to prison pipeline, instead of going to nonprofits that then kind of have to, what happened all the way through the school day? What can I do for you now after school or on the weekends? Like, we know that that's not working. So, you know, if we there's so much research on all of the things that lead to crime, poverty being a high indicator of that, right? So if you're in poverty, the chances of you committing crime are higher, regardless of your race, right? If you are not educated and have a hard time finding a job, you're more likely to commit a crime, right? So if we know what the issues are, then we know what the solutions are. And the solution is not police, because if the solution was police, well, damn, we would have been fixed.
Right.
That's how I feel about it.
Well, I think a lot of people are going to disagree on that, because the police are still vital to any kind of community. You know, you need
No,
to have
I agree. And we started with that.
I'm not saying get rid of all
Because-
police.
We started with that.
I never said get rid of all police.
No, I know that. I know that.
Need to be. But
Yeah,
there are certain circumstances where the police don't need to be. They don't need to be responding to mental health calls. They do not need to be responding to
Property
Angel,
crimes.
they don't
Yeah.
they don't need to be sitting at the light when there's something going on, sipping coffee for 8 hours
right,
while somebody's doing construction.
right.
You know what I mean?
Or sitting at the
So
light
here's
waiting
the
for
thing,
somebody
right?
to run it.
So here's
Like, what am I hurting somebody by running that light? You know? But
So
go
here's the
ahead.
thing.
So, well, what we're
So
gonna
here's
do
the
right
thing.
now is shift gears a little bit, because I think it's important that we remember
My
that
bad.
we are not at home. So part of the thing is that we publicize and normalize conversations, but ideas that we think about that aren't really solidified in fact, I don't really want to go there, but we could go off live and we could continue that. And
I appreciate you.
but in just to kind of shift gears, the main thing that we were advised was important about the council meeting was the proclamation, which is important. It's now a matter of history, right? That Federal Way acknowledges Black lives, but it's just a key step, right? The next step is policy change. And so in that exploration of policy change, during the meeting on Tuesday, they were supposed to be discussing the funding from HUD, the CARES Act, which is quite interesting to me, because just 2 weeks prior, they were just like, oh my God, we have no idea how to administer this. And as soon as the Black Collective brought them a solution a week before this council meeting, I was like, I know who could do this for you. They all of a sudden implemented another plan. And so
That's
I
how they
want
do it.
Clarity, not the plan you presented, but a different plan. Okay.
no, I'm sorry.
I was just asking as a point of clarification. They implemented a plan that was the plan you presented, or a different plan?
So what they did is they created their own plan. So we
Okay.
had a plan for a third-party administrator. Well,
Mhm.
we just asked for the documents. What is it that you're talking about? We
Right.
would like information to see if
Mhm.
we could help.
Right.
And so that help turned into them trying to figure out what they can do quickly in 1 week to put together a strategic plan for $1 million. And I think like most people that shepherd large pots of money know that you don't throw something together like that in a week. It's just irresponsible. So I was very proud of the community members that staked themselves and stood up on our behalf also. Like, we were all up there, but you guys showed up too. Because let's be clear, they said they weren't doing the Juneteenth flag on Tuesday. Today is Thursday,
For real?
yet the event is happening. So that is because of the community.
Mhm.
But as it regards to that, when we're talking about what's important, right? That was their first priority, was that symbolism. Symbolism is key. Look, I operate in symbolism. So, because I'm a queen, so I want to make sure you know, okay?
Mhm.
So,
That's a fact.
symbolism is important. It's great that they're putting up that flag, but I love quotes by like Marshawn Lynch. I'm about that action, boss.
Mhm.
So
So,
raising
so
that flag, what does it mean? And I'm sorry, bro, what was that?
so I'm just saying, like, when it comes to like our movement and what we're trying to do, like the symbolism is cool, but if we get back to the resources part, and if we get back to what we was talking about with, like, I wasn't trying to attack the police and I wasn't trying to attack teachers, but if we keep it real, when we talk about the prison to pipeline, the school to prison pipeline, it starts with what? The school. If you go to Federal Way High School and you look at how it's built, when you go into that first floor, you look down into the cafeteria.
Mhm.
Damn near like a prison. I'm just saying, man, like
But I want to
you
be clear,
you
Lamont,
mentioned
because what you said
symbolism.
is teachers, and teachers have no control over that. So let's be clear. We're
Yeah.
talking about school administration, not teachers.
So here's what I'm saying. And so again, because I know we got to be politically correct, but at the same time, like Cat's been in this for a long time, man. And we just gonna call it what it is. Like, I'm not gonna shy away from it, because if we don't talk about it, then we can't fix it. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And we've been talking about, so listen, let's follow me with this, right? This is where I was going with that. When I said the building, the actual building, I was given the structure, right? But when we go to the actual structure of the system, the point that I was trying to make was the similarity between the teachers union and the fucking the police union. Like, it's like I dealt with this. Like, I looked at them both the same, and I was like, I'm dealing with a powerful entity. Whichever
Right.
one you want to talk about, I'm dealing with a powerful entity. You see what I'm saying? And so what I'm saying is we need to address this. We don't need to shy away from it. I'm not saying that unions are bad. I'm not saying, but if we can't have the conversation, then I have an issue with that. You see what I'm saying? And so the point that I'm trying to make is the similarities between the teachers union, the police union, the school to prison pipeline. We just said the same thing. You see what I'm saying? And so what I'm saying is when we have that conversation, how can we fix that? We are an ally. When I used to go into the schools, I was like, listen, I'm not, listen, I know you went to school for 4 years. I know you accrued school loan debt. You see what I'm saying? And you need to pay that off. I understand that. But this is my child. You see what I'm saying? So if you can pay your debt off a different way, and we get some quality people in here, then that's what we're about, because we're about solutions. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think that it's a situation where we have to look at it. What did Judge Larson say? We come at everything from an adversarial
That's so
point of
funny you
view.
quote Judge Larson. Judge Larson
No,
just
because
joined the live, so it's really funny that you just quoted him. But say it again.
because it's real talk. You see what I'm saying? Like, I tell my girl, like, we finish each other's sentences. When you with somebody, when you're talking to somebody righteous that really want to see people do well, we finish each other's sentences, because we know what's right and we know what's wrong. We know what's working, like Angel said, and we know what's not working. You see what I'm saying? And so it doesn't have to be like I'm attacking you.
Right.
What I'm saying is, you can't drive. Maybe you need a chauffeur, or maybe
Right.
you need to take an Uber, or maybe you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody, like let's like, we don't have to argue with each other. You see what I'm saying? I want you to pay your student loans off, but I also want to educate my kids. You see what I'm saying? And so that's all it is. It's just a conversation. We don't have to, it doesn't have to be adversarial. It can be, what is the solution to the problem? You know what I'm saying? And that's
Right.
where I want to say, as the Black collective, we are looking for solutions to the problem. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the only thing, because, like, and this is what I believe in. I believe that we have the people that can make this happen. You know what I'm saying? We are having the conversations. The energy is there for us to make this happen. You see what I'm saying? Let's just continue the conversation, and let's not get discouraged on, I didn't agree with what this person said. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, or you're attacking a entity. No, we're not. We didn't attack the police. You know what I'm saying? We just said, can we get a little bit of that budget?
You know what's
For over
interesting? I think
Right.
one big thing that people forget is that it's really popular to use the term gaslighting, but that's a lot of what happens when we go to these meetings and we're trying to be honest about our experience. It's made like super personal, like, no, you know, that's you and this, but it's like overall our community has this disconnect. So to answer the question the audience member posed, which was, I'm going to make it more broad because it's not just school, it's also our cities. So what do we think is not working with these big systems? And what do we think is working? So me personally, what I'll say is what is not working is that the only response or the instant response to sending our kids through the school to prison pipeline, like that's not the point. You're educators, it is y'all's job to figure out how to work with these kids. Now, if you need additional resources, it is your administration's job to make sure you have what you need. But if we want to go back to being factual, when I was in school, there was like 5 counselors in my one high school, right? Right now, some of our schools in Federal Way share liaisons. Like it's like one here for like all of your students.
But Lynn,
So if
you
one
have to know why.
is responsible for knowing 1,800 students, you cannot tell me that you are properly making sure that our kids have the resources so they're not angry. Like that person to really connect. They don't know our kids. They barely know them. Because they do not have the resources to do their job. Because we are, the biggest thing we're spending money on is contracts for policing instead of socially engaging and raising healthy children. And that goes to even in the city, raising healthy, or not even raising, encountering and having healthy and safe engagement with community members. We need to learn how to talk to each other. Well, one time you called your son's teacher a bitch. Now you probably a little tripping. You was like, okay, man, I was riled up. But now you don't know how to go back to her. And she don't know how to go back to you because you can call her a bitch.
Right.
So for the rest of the year, your child is suffering.
Because she's
and
a person.
No one is talking.
Because she's a person. So listen. So this is what I'm saying. You see how the police is shooting people because they're regular people, right? So when you mouth off to the police officer, they have an ego just like a regular person. It's the same with the teacher. That's why I can use the analogy. But this is what I'm saying. If we go to policy, like if we go to like Todd Beamer, I was literally like, I'm in the trenches. And I'm like, well, where did the counselors go? Because they went to principals. They have like 3 or 4 principals in that school that took place of the counselors. And that was an administrative move that they was like, we need principals instead of counselors. That's all I'm saying is somebody made a decision. You see what I'm saying? I'm not here to point fingers. I'm just saying somebody made a decision. You see what I'm saying? And it was more important to have counselors. Me and my man, rest in peace, Dre, we sat at in a principal's office for an hour and a half trying to tell them that these kids are killing each other. And the principal was like, oh, well, it's just social media. It's not that serious. And we was like, no, here's the thing. As long as it doesn't happen on this campus, you guys are cool. But if it happens in Park 16, which where I live at, then I have to fucking deal with that shit, man. You see what I'm saying? Like this is our lives, man. So that's why I was like, when it came down to it, when it came to the politics, I don't give a damn because we dying. My son's best friend died 2 months before graduation. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is my life. You see what I'm saying? Like, I got to talk to my son about this every day. I have to talk to his friends about this on a regular basis. This is our life, man. So when we go through this is not a statistic for us. You see what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is I'm sorry if I'm not politically correct. Pardon me, but we dying. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to a solution, if you don't want to listen to me, man, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what we're doing right now. We're going to start the Black Collective and we're going to do something outside of what you guys are doing, but we want to be partners. You see what I'm saying? And so with that, the answer to the question of the person that answered that posed the question, what are we not doing? What we're not doing is we're not putting the right people in the right positions. I look at what's going on in the schools, and we're afraid to. We got more African Americans in federal way leaving the school district. Why? This is a fact.
Right.
So if we got African Americans leaving the school district, why is that happening? And what can we do to retain those people to keep them in the building? I'm willing to have those serious conversations that are uncomfortable, that might have people squirming, and I don't, you know what I'm saying? And somebody might lose their job, but so be it, because you know what? My son's best friend died 2 months before graduation. I'm sorry. I don't have time to sit here and worry about your job or your feelings. I'm sorry. You see what I'm saying? So what the question, like I said, to answer the question is, when we go back to what is working is and what is not working, we're not, it's too political. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too, I might lose my job. I have to worry about saying, I can't say this because I might lose my job. This is what I'm dealing with. I've been dealing with this for 10 years in the Federal Way School District. I can't say anything because I might lose my job. That's a fact.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So until we can address these unions that are very, very strong, and I'm not here for anybody to get fired. I'm here to help. This is literally what I said when I went into Illahee when my son was in the 7th grade. I am not here to get anybody, but how can we, in that class, in that graduating class, we have the murders that happened in Federal Way that sparked the Federal Way Youth Action Team, that came out of that class, that we had action at pulling in and giving them something more than what they were offering, is all I'm saying. Let's work hand in hand with the school district. Let's not point fingers, but at the same time, how can we, you have your driver's license, but you're not a great driver. So how can we move you into something else and get people in that can actually reach these kids? For real, for real. Stop playing.
Yeah, I hear you. And I'm
Okay, hold on. One thing.
my bad.
Real quick. So Miss Pam has asked us to advocate for this, and I specifically want to say it just how she's saying, because she mentioned this to me at a protest, and I've been trying to understand it. And we're gonna talk more, Miss Pam, so I can figure out how to help you. Larry Thornton is a key advocate in the Federal Way Public School District, and he was let go. He is a diversion coordinator. He works with he's a black man, works with our black students, right?
LT, man.
So how do you let LT go and you contract with Federal Way PD? He knows our kids. He knows our kids.
This is what I'm saying.
This is what I'm
saying, man. This is what I'm saying. This dude LT has been, when we're talking about discipline wise, and I'm gonna say LT, and let me give a strong shout out to Miss Scott, because she's been in this Federal Way School District from a disciplinary standpoint for a minute. And I'm not lying. One of the young girls that was having issues, they asked her, she stayed in ISS. They asked her who her favorite teacher was, and she said Miss Scott, the ISS teacher. You know why? Because she actually fucking cared. Real rap. She actually cared. Right. Shout out Miss Pam Ash. She actually cares, man. These kids could tell the difference, man. So all I'm saying is LT, I already signed the petition. When we talk about
Ms. Ash, can you drop the petition in the comments, please?
When I said that Federal Way looks like a prison, I'm not lying, man. When you walk into Federal Way and you look down into the cafeteria, it's like some freaking wardens looking at the inmates. They built this shit like this, man. And all I'm saying is this dude LT was one of the ones that could connect to the kids, because we actually care. Even though some people might look at our culture and they be like, well, how can they talk to the kids like that? Or how can he no, these kids understand what we're saying because we look like they uncles, we look like they dads, we look like they aunties, we look like they grandmas or whatever the case, and they know how to relate to us, and they
And
remove us
talk to
from the
them like
building.
it too.
That's a fact. And they remove us from the building, and they put somebody in the building that's like, oh, go ahead, go, little Johnny, go. I just wanna. No, our kids don't react to that shit, man. Our kids react to somebody that knows that when, even though I'm talking to you like this, Miss Tirza, shout out to Miss Tirza. I know that if she talks to me, however she talks to me, I know it's out of love. That's the difference. I know that when this person talks to me, this dude walked over and said, "Do you think fellas can vote?" And he pointed at the kid. And I looked at him and I said, "Is that what you tell them? Is that what you like?" My heart hurt. Like, why would you tell this kid this? Because you know why? You're coming from a cultural disadvantage. Judge Larson said what? And I keep saying, because Judge Larson, I'm gonna keep it real. He reminds me of a John Brown. No disrespect to the violence that was done, but he reminds me of one of those people that's like, I'm gonna tell you like it is, whether you like it or not. And what he suggested was African culture. He suggested a mediation. He suggested that this is what we used to do in African culture, man. That's what these kids need. You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I could keep going. But go ahead.
You talk. No, I'm trying to find this petition. Miss Ashley put it in here. I'm not talking.
Nah, because LT is one of those people. We got people that are in. So here's the thing. To answer the question of the person that actually said something before, we need people to support the people that are in positions. You see what I'm saying? Because these people in positions like LT, my man, and I'm gonna shout him out. David Stone, you know what I'm saying? Treese Moore that was in it before. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, these cats they leaving. You know what I'm saying? And then we stuck having to deal with whoever they put in place, and then we got to start all over again. We got to support the people that's already in place. Shout out to LT, man. Shout out to Miss Ash. Shout out to anybody that's in the field that's doing the work. I don't care what you look like. If you out Shannon Coran, she been doing her thing. You know what I'm saying? She been in Federal Way doing her thing. You know what I'm saying? So let's shout out the people that's actually doing stuff. Let's support them. No disrespect if you're not, but here's the thing. I'm an entrepreneur. Maybe we can have a side conversation. Maybe teaching just ain't for you. Let's have a conversation about some other things that you might be able to get into. You know what I'm saying? Besides that, let's get the real people in that can actually reach our kids. Let's do that. Did you get the thing, Lynn?
Miss Ash says she'll do it later. So what I'll do is I can't find it on Google. So what we'll do is we will post it to the page after we get on live because she don't want to miss a minute, so she doesn't want to leave the conversation out of her phone, right? And I totally get that.
I got a question to ask though. So what's been the holdup though to having the right people be put in this particular positions? Because if people are leaving or are being forced to leave, or because they're leaving because
politics, bro.
They lose
Okay,
so
yeah,
much
I think that right now it's just like a spirit has been arisen in the people. We are all fucking tired. I'm done. Like people have been like, okay, let me put it to you like this. They call it the Seattle freeze. Like we don't speak in the winter. You know, we walk past each other. We just are generally don't care about each other. But you know what? We're so hurt that we've lost so many people. Like you're saying, your son, my nephew lost his friend. That hurts. And I feel like sometimes, and Lamont be getting on me because I be trying to be the politically correct one, but that's my job. But
No,
sometimes
absolutely.
he's right.
Absolutely.
We can't just be worried about our jobs. And that's why we built our own table to eat off of. Because can't nobody fire me.
Hey, let me jump off the cliff. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like hey, for real. Because we not playing no more, man. We not playing. Like the only thing that like anybody that knows me, and I was just talking to Winston Bell, like we've been in this game for a minute as far as like scrapping, like because back in the days, like when people protest and they tear stuff up, that's a way of like I call that a tantrum. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what else to do, so I'm just gonna tear shit up. But once I found out that the judge was elected, once I found out that the sheriff was elected, once I found out that the school board was elected, I saw a different way to fight. You know what I'm saying? And so now I found a group of people that can help me in this. And so the only thing that we want, man, and this is just real rap. This don't have nothing to do with race. It has to do with race because it seems like around the world we're being exterminated from that standpoint. But from the standpoint of Asian people kill Asian people, European people kill European people, and that is a fact. If you go to Europe, France and England was fighting. If you go to Asia, Japan and China was fighting. You know, like, so we are human beings, right? And so what we want to do is we want in federal way, this is what I saw. Every kid, when I was in the school, when I was in the classroom, there wasn't a kid in the classroom that I saw that couldn't get straight A's, right? When I looked at the crime, because we call it the school to prison pipeline for a reason. The teachers and the police are like the same shit. You see what I'm saying? Like real rap, not disrespectfully, because I'm not using it as a whole. You see what I'm saying? But as far as position wise, you can interchange them. You know what I'm saying? Because you're over somebody. Anyways, if we can get a hold of how our children are educated, European Americans they benefit from a real history as well as we do, because you had indentured servant, right? In Europe, you had peasants. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like we weren't in the same. It has more to do with us trying to live harmoniously together. So when we talk about the school district, let's figure out how we can put people into a position to forward the uplifting of our children. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, if you look at what's going on, federal way in this area was one of the top referrals to the juvenile justice system.
Mhm.
If we're able to
we are currently do better. Sorry.
Right.
So I no, take over, because the only thing that I was trying to say was we have action at those children, and then those children will be our future leaders. You see what I'm saying? And so if we can work in hand in hand with the federal way public school system, I think that we can do some amazing things. Is the point that I'm trying to make? I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm not trying to say that they're doing bad and we're doing good. I'm just saying, how can we sit down at the table and figure out how we can educate our children, because it's a multifaceted situation. But I don't want to.
And I wonder.
I'm sorry, Angel.
No, that's fine. I just want to interject something real quick. So as you were speaking, the parallel between teachers and police officers, for me, I was trying to digest that as you were speaking, right? But they are both positions where the teacher has the authority to say, you're going to detention, you're getting suspended, right? And so what needs to happen is in my opinion, my personal opinion, right, is some kind of oversight and documentation of specific teachers and the way that their implicit bias is playing out, right? So if I look at the end of the year and you had 5 Black kids in your class and, you know, all of them went to detention at some point, well, that's a problem. You know what I mean? And in that, something that came up to me is there was actually a study done with doctors and implicit bias, right? And, you know, all the ways that shows up, right? But in this study, they told the doctors that were exhibiting implicit bias, they said, did you realize you were doing this? Did you realize that you're, you know, recommending surgery more? Did you recognize that you're, you know, not giving pain meds to people who need it? Like all the ways that shows up, right? when they told them that, like, here's the data that you can't lie about this data. Like, this is what we've been looking at. The doctors changed. Like, the doctors had better, they checked their implicit bias because they were like, oh, wow, like the problem is in me. And I wonder if there's room for that in the education system as well, to go back and say,
for a fact, I think there
this
is.
is what you've been doing. And here it is on paper. Like, you cannot dispute these facts that we have on you. See, fix it. And then if you don't fix it, well, next year, bye, boo.
So my question would be is, would you still continue to go to that doctor?
No.
So that's what I'm saying.
Let me ask you guys a question. Did you guys know that we have a hospital with Black administrators in Federal Way? CHI, for
Not
instance,
until you told me last week.
Yeah, well, I'm telling the public. Like, they have a Black administrators. Most of their leadership staff is Black. And I'm not saying let's go fight with them, argue with them, but how about we show them that we have the community support? And either you want to work with us, or we can find our own options. And we are not beholden to your decision.
So can I ask you, are they subscriber medicine, or are they trying to really cure, or are they really trying to help you? Because I'm on my natural game, and that's like, I'm right now,
but see, we gotta do infrastructure with that, brother. Cause like, for real, y'all can't just keep charging me out the pocket because I like brown eggs, and brown eggs is healthy. Now, come on.
That's real.
No. So Lynn, healthy, it's the same treatment they give at the doctor, right? But they charge us $5 million. We gotta fix that infrastructure so our people can begin to buy into more healthy options.
Right, because Marlene is high. Okay. For
real.
So let me just say this. I'm gonna put it out into the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna happen.
Be it. I got my candles lit and my chakras, baby. I got my
I got my AC on. All the things.
Speak it.
We're going to. This is something that is essential to our community, and this is what we're going to do. In every city, we're going to start with Western Washington. From Seattle to absolutely. We're going to put clinics in those communities. So, like, say Auburn, Federal Way, Des Moines, we're going to have small clinics in those areas. The question is, and this is my question too, because I don't want to get on I'm going to give you a bunch of medicine. I really want to look into like helping. So the question is for Lynn. Yeah. So Lynn, with those administrators, are we talking about me taking high blood pressure medicine, or are we talking about me changing my diet to reduce the high blood pressure? Because I feel like, you know what I'm saying, like, if we changed our diet, and if we operated the way we're supposed to operate, like, I just know too many people that's dying from cancer. And if we don't look at something alternative.
See, bro, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I was saying. We need to get them on board, right? Because the issue is, yes, there are natural options. I think that, yes. See, the thing is that the system's it's built so that it's too big to fail.
It's a
so
system.
Like, the insurance companies are like what fund the hospitals, essentially. It's not and private donations. So and government contracts. And so let me just break it down for what I completely truly understand. And let me just say that it works in all industries in capitalism. So we are a nonprofit, right? How are we funded? So we could get private funding, but the majority of our funding, just being transparent, comes from grants, right? So because we need grants to operate, no, let me rephrase that, because I need you guys to understand how I operate. Because society has told me I need grants.
Hashtag we are the bank.
That when we are applying for grants, I only apply for grants that will allow us to be holistically serve our people. And I refuse to accept money that will require me to compromise our values. So what that means is it puts power, like we said, right? All power back to the people. None of the policies or programs we write for give us power. They give it back to our community. It's about making sure they have, because guess what? Information is power. Information sharing is how we empower our communities, right?
It's the essence
But because of the
who we
grant
are.
process, like for instance, I'm gonna just keep it funky. We have not and we will not apply for grants from the city of Federal Way. And the reason why is because
Why is that?
oh shit, speak that shit into existence, sis. I got that I got that group invite and I'm loving that shit. I see it. So anyways,
So why we don't apply for grants
we
from
don't
Federal
apply
Way?
for grants from the city of Federal Way because I don't intend to apply for grants just to pay for my time. All of our grants go to the people. And the way nonprofits are structured, we have to apply for grants, and then they tell us what the reporting requirements are. And because sometimes we can get just so focused on the passion, and this is what I'm saying, just like teachers, right? Just like the right good apples, right? We get so focused on the passion. We're like, we're just going to get as much money as we can, and we're just going to serve these people. But we need to stop saying if it's organizations that don't focus on on changing the narrative of anti-Blackness, on changing the narrative of throwing our children away, on changing the narrative of looking at us and not seeing Black girl, boy magic, then I don't want to be in business with you. I'm not desperate. Money is attracted to me.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to chase money. And as a people, we have got to stop chasing money.
Mm-hmm.
That's to sell their soul, man.
Solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
from a biblical standpoint, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's something that we struggle with. One of the things that I want to just let people know as far as the Black collective, like there's no amount of money, man. Like this is the movement. Like we not
community out.
Yeah. There is no price. You know what I'm saying? Like we have been suffering. It's done. You know what I'm saying? Like we done with that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all sacrifice for the cause. And so this is not no situation where, and again, like I keep going back to we all in this together, man. Like I said it a long time ago in my mind. I was like, love is gonna be the cure. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And in the midst of so much hate, like I got so much love, and then it's not just me. Like love is all around me. You know what I'm saying? And so we're not even worried about that. Where we're at with it now is if you are within the sound of our voice, support our cause. You know what I'm saying? Support the Black collective. Support what we're trying to do, because everything that we do, what she just said, like we saw already, like we're not trying to get rich off of this. This is not for us. This is for the community. We have real businesses going on that we're making profits off of. This is for the community, man. We can actually uplift ourselves. Just think about this, right? Dr. Boyce Watkins said with one of James Harden's checks, with one check, you get a check every game. With one of the checks, he could fund 20 kids to go to school. We're gonna do that, and we ain't James Harden. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got NBA money, but we're gonna do that same thing. So just imagine if we get everybody on board as far as we're going to forward our movement. And all this is for us to survive, man. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like we just want to just think about this. You have technology. And so now everybody's like, technology is the new thing. We need technology to live comfortable, but we don't have to destroy the earth to live a better quality of life. We don't have to destroy our brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, for a better quality of life. We don't have to sacrifice that. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when it comes to you or the movement, man, it's the movement, man. We not even thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? And so with that, please support the Black collective. Please support what we have going on so we can forward what we're trying to do. This is humanity. There's a better way to do stuff. If we're talking about the school, there's a better way to do it, man. It's not working. If we talking about the police, there's a better way to do it. Cass was like, oh, what if we do away with the police? We didn't say do away with the police with no plan. We said do
Right.
away with the police with this is an alternative to what we're trying to do. If you're tired of people killing you, then hey, I'm gonna tell you, and this is I digress. I was the president of the PTSA at Illahee. There was a PTSA meeting in Auburn, and I was told not to go to it. I go to it, and the lady said she went to like one of the Eastern European countries, and she said they had the #1 educational system. But you know how they got the #1 educational system? They scrapped their whole educational system and started from scratch. You see what I'm saying? Like, we can't keep doing shit that ain't working. It's working for them.
And
it's
the thing
not
is,
working for us.
the thing that's crazy to me is we keep doubling down. So when it's not working, we run out of money, we do another levy, we do this, but we don't change anything significantly. We just keep investing in failure. It's like we're afraid to admit that this is just not working.
Yep.
Let's invest our money somewhere else. Show where our true priorities are.
It's scary. It's scary to stop investing in what you know.
Let me tell you what's more scary,
is, right? It's
to
like
keep
the devil
murdering my kids.
Right? I'm not saying that it's right. I'm saying it's the devil that we know, right? And that's why it keeps going. And I think now we have this opportunity at this point in human history where we're like, yo, we don't have to do that because COVID showed us I don't have to go into the office, do I? You can just put a rent moratorium. I ain't got it. You can just make it so they can't evict me just like that. What else can change in the world?
What's interesting is that all these things we've been told takes time, takes all this. They sure shut this whole motherfucker down when they want.
Okay, quick, fast.
But Lynn, we knew that. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
whenever they kept telling me that politics takes time. Kiss. I'm not gonna say that.
Let me tell you, it takes time if you don't have political capital. So what we decided was, since we're not important enough for you to pay attention to right now, don't worry about us in our little show, okay? Don't worry about us. We're gonna go around here and build our community up and be there for them. We didn't go worry about rich, popular people. No, we invited regular community members. We keep showing up for you. And that's where our power is, making sure they understand all the keys that we've invested in learning.
Hey, if I get a dollar from 1,000 people or $1,000 from one person, the 1,000 people is 1,000 votes. That one person is one vote. Let's mobilize the people. And my man James is being real quiet, man. I'm not gonna just sit here and look at your face.
James looks like you over there applying for some more grant money to take over the world.
Hey, my man James is reading a book right now. You know what I'm saying? He's looking at YouTube, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm doing research, man. As y'all talking, I'm doing research, man. No,
James is finding the answer. You think I'm playing?
That's a fact.
Because even right now, some of the things that are being considered is the alternatives. They're always available if you're willing to look for them and find them. Like right now, one of the things that I'm looking at is Shop Black. I know before the show started, I was speaking with Angel about this. Say, if you have going to the same location over and over, and you getting the same kind of treatment, you're subjected to the same issues. Why not look at the alternative, like you guys mentioned? And so this one, what I'm looking at right now is that they have products that are Black owned, not necessarily in one portion of the country, but globally. So they're dealing with thousands and thousands of people. I'm sure you guys have probably heard of it. It's called shopblack.us. So they're dealing with every different business, every different entity. And so you kind of able to unify and work with different groups. You're learning different experiences, different products, and you're able to build that kind of, unity amongst everybody. You see, so as you spoke earlier about having like a different form of collective in different cities, this is some of the things too that can be worked on. You know, you're looking at God, what's the key word? You're looking at a health organization to assist people that are going to be more cost effective. You know, you're looking at free clinics. What about also having, you know, a store that people can go to? You don't have to rely on going to the Safeways or, you know, I think,
Mhm.
go ahead.
Listen, man. Listen. You're going too much into the plan.
Yeah, we can't be telling the people everything. Man.
Tell them
Okay, because I
everything,
hella
Go
was
ahead
man.
about
and
to jump
attend the
on there and
community
be
Tell
like,
them
meeting.
oh
everything.
yeah, and also.
This dude James about to give him the whole enchilada. You know what I'm saying? Like, come
You
on,
must
man.
attend a community meeting. Just know that we have the keys. Okay.
Right. I'm messing with you, bro. I'm messing with you. Go ahead.
No, but that's kind of the point that I'm just trying to bring up, because most of this answers and excuse me, the information that we're speaking of, the answers is right there. It's just people just had to put it into play, you know, because if you get in the same results, deviate away from it. And what some individuals are just looking for is just looking for a group like this, or others who have actually willing to put in the battle and fight for them and be out there in the focal front, and they're willing to provide you the helping hand, because you've had others who have probably come before us who have tried the same thing, and maybe they've had difficulties and issues that they could not supplant, and you know, maybe might not have worked the same way. So it's okay, we learn from what they did and we do things a little bit better. But at the same time, we're not just trying to be the gatekeepers, which is just one
Mm.
person that has the answer to everything. We're trying to make sure everybody else can also provide for themselves. Everybody can eat in a sense, and everybody can utilize those skills that they have that they can re-engineer within their own communities and within their own residents.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my whole thing was,
Hold on, Lamont. Let me stop you because you said you stopped for Miss Tears, so she didn't raise her hand.
oh my, but man, let me step back
So,
then.
Mom, you're not on mute. Okay, we're gonna come back to you, Lamont.
So basically, man, I forgot what I was gonna say, but it's all good.
Sorry, she popped it up real
Mhm.
quick, so I thought she really wanted something.
Yeah.
You know our elders struggle with technology, so we're gonna get it together.
Mhm.
I'm gonna text her. We're gonna figure out how we can. You're not on mute, Mom. Just talk. You're not muted. Just say hello. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
might. You have to click the connect audio when you.
Yeah, you
join.
might need to connect your audio.
So that's what I was gonna.
But yeah.
So that's what I was gonna say. Like who took care of Martin's kids? You know what I'm saying? Like who took care of Malcolm's kids? You know what I'm saying? Like this is a movement, man. You know what I'm saying? And so, like at the end of the day, like you gotta protect your family. You know what I'm saying? So we're not looking for and no disrespect, but we're not looking for like a pie in the sky. You know what I'm saying? Like we looking for people to be able to step up. If you're a colonel, like in the military, if you're a general and your general drop, I don't care if you're a private, you gotta jump in the play and make things happen. So we gotta educate people. We gotta let people know that at any given time, like we at war. I'm just gonna keep it all the way funky with you. You know what I'm saying? Like they not cast down. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay,
at the
I'm
end of the
fighting for
day,
my son. Okay.
yeah.
If you think
At the end of the
anybody
day,
in this on living, breathing on this planet matters more to me than that child's survival and not just thriving. I'm no
Mhm.
longer accepting just surviving. And I want you to really unpack what I just said.
Mhm.
We are no longer accepting surviving. That is so unhealthy. I want to go back. Basha said that, like, you know, this unhealthy relationship with the struggle. It is not healthy to struggle. And that's not, I'm not talking about financial difficulty. I'm talking about the interpersonal struggle, the not understanding, the lack of
stress
access.
of being
That is
black in
healthy.
America.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But here's the thing though, right? Like we not asking, man. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not hashtag we are the bank. And I'm not saying that from the standpoint of like we just got a lot of money. The bank is up here, man. You know what I'm saying? We are the bank because we have the ability to create something out of nothing. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you? That I can take something, that I can take less of what you gave me, and I can make a kingdom out of it. You see what I'm saying?
More than you could
So
ever imagine.
and so we have that ability. So all we're saying is at the end of the day, there's a lot of systems at play. We have some great allies. We would like to uplift the quality of living for people in our community, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Like, at the end of the day, I don't care what color you are. I just happen to realize that they're around the world. They are killing people that look like me. You see what I'm saying? I can't help but notice that. But that's not to say, again, that Asians don't kill Asians, that Europeans don't kill Europeans, and that they don't have their own issues amongst their own groups. So don't allow me to disrespect anybody else's movement. But like my man D. Bryce always told me, just because I'm pro-black, don't mean that I gotta be anti everything else. You know what I'm saying? If my Puerto Rican brothers, if my Guamanian brothers can hang flags from their mirror from their car, I can't be proud of who I am. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, this is not a I'm a channel the energy of my man Fred Hampton. You know what I'm saying? All praise, all positive energy to that brother. He and the Black Panthers, I won't even say solicited. They channeled the energy of mankind. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people aren't understanding, man. This is mankind. I promise you, I have looked in the eyes of my Caucasian brother, my Indian brother from India, my Asian brother, like true humanitarians. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, we agreed that we more alike than we are different. You know what I'm saying? And so let it be a situation where what we're building right now, if you was able to build the Great Wall of China and you knew that at the expiration of your time on this planet, you wasn't going to see the end of it, all we can do is put our bricks up, man. Let every person put their brick up and be a part of the solution and not the problem. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the question that was proposed, like what can we do and where are we our shortcomings. Like, my belief is it's not enough. It's not the fact that there's more people that are doing wrong or stand for wrong. It's not enough people that are stand for right to stand up. You know what I'm saying? And so we just need to stand up, man, and we gonna prevail. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real rap.
Well, and I wonder, Lamont, when you were just speaking, I was thinking about something that's kind of been rumbling around in my mind for a couple days. I don't know, is that since there are so many white accomplices that have, knowing what's going on, going out to marches, doing all the things, I think
riding, like, for real riding.
Yeah, for real, writing. And I so appreciate it, right? And I wonder if we'll finally have space for us as Black people to do some very intentional healing. Because if we do this work right now, okay, so say racism is gone tomorrow, right? All the racist cops are gone, all the
I don't think it's gonna happen like that. I don't think it'll ever be gone.
I know it's not gonna happen like that, but I'm just saying, is there space, at least a little bit, for us to be real intentional about healing, real intentional about, I'm gonna learn how to problem solve within my own community. I'm gonna learn to go to therapy. I'm gonna learn to like work on my stuff. And I'm not saying please don't misunderstand me and say that racism is our fault, because it's not, right? But racism, honestly, like anti-blackness, I can't fix anti-blackness in somebody who's anti-black. They have to fix that within themselves, right?
Nah, you're absolutely right. So to answer your question, I think it starts with us, right? So here's how you know who your real.
Real quick question though. How do we heal if we're still getting injured? You know what I mean? Like I can't heal in surgery.
No. I agree. So here's the thing, because I think you spoke on the allies from an ally standpoint, and the true allies, and Lynn can attest to this. A true ally is gonna let you do you. Like my true friends, I don't have to talk to them every day.
Right.
But when I talk to them, it's 100%. You see what I'm saying? So our true allies, they're going to allow us to heal. They're not going to try to infiltrate. They're not going to say, hey, I need to say what I need to say to support you guys. They're going to sit back and they're going to be like, y'all do y'all. Because if they really understand, they need some healing as well. You see what I'm saying?
Real talk.
Like if you really want to, and I'm not talking about healing as far as dealing with us, like molestation goes on in European households. You see what I'm saying? Like abuse goes on in European households. So they need to. There's some healing that they, you know, like.
The interesting thing is, the reality is that the same way, if you look at the percentages, the same percentages. So first of all, I just want to dispel this narrative. Crime statistics. Okay, sucks. Hi, Tristan. You're at Nana's house. Now the sound is working.
I say, I hear my man.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I had to struggle with this thing. I don't know. I couldn't get it on. But anyway, I didn't want to just come in the middle. I had just been trying to figure out how to get it on. I just wanted to comment if it's okay, or I can wait.
Come on.
Okay. When you were talking about defunding the police, yes, everybody thinks that we're talking about something like we don't need a police department. That's not what anybody is saying across the world. That's not what people are saying. People are saying there's a better way to do things. And if you look at Atlanta, San Antonio, Texas, and New York, they've already made policy changes as to what they will allow and will not allow the police to do. Seattle Police Department just put the union, well, not the, I think the labor, just put the Seattle Police Department union out of their union because they weren't willing to do certain things. So that's
okay. I saw that today.
It's just saying, we want you, but we want you to do the job that you were hired to do. We don't want you to just do whatever you feel like you want to do when you feel like you want to do it and not be accountable, because even the police are not above the law. And that's kind of been the concept, that they're above the law.
What do you think? What do you think as far as, because I saw like certain police, because you see the guy in New York, the police guy, he was like, you guys are disrespecting us and you guys need to respect us and all of this stuff. And the police said that they're walking off and stuff like that. Because, you know, Federal Way said that as well. Remember in one of the city council meetings, they was like, well, we don't know. If you don't fund us, then we can't protect you.
Let me say this, and that's a threat. Again, that's a bully threat, and that's not fair. That's not right. The reality is that we have got to take a look at the testing that we do to hire people. We've got to take a look at that because there's a certain criteria that we hire. There's a whole battery of tests that they go through to be, to be a police officer. And so that also sets for a certain mindset, because there's something wrong with a person. I don't care. I have walked off many jobs because I thank God I've been blessed to say, look, this here I can't do. I have to draw the line. I know people stay on their jobs and take a whole lot of stuff because they got to feed their families. But there's certain things, sometimes you got to say, you know what? I'm not doing this. So when you have people that will stand around, like with George Floyd, when every one of those officers and hundreds of people were watching this man die, nobody in the blue uniform tried to stop that officer, knowing he was wrong, knowing exactly what he was doing. Not one of them. They stood by and watched him do it. So no, you can't.
Their job.
Y'all
Cannot
better
tell
look
me
out
that
for my
that's
kids,
okay.
man. Y'all better look
You
out for my
cannot say
kids.
that's
Don't
okay.
do me like, you know what I mean?
No way you look at that. Is
First
that
of all,
okay?
them is my
And if you want to
nephews.
support your brother in blue,
Nah, cause
I mean,
I
come
ain't
on,
playing.
we want
Like
you
I
to
don't
say
play
what's
that
wrong.
shit.
Call wrong, wrong. You know, you're
Mhm.
there
That's a
to
fact.
stop crime. You cannot commit crime in talking about you stopping crime. So yes, we have to hold them accountable for things. So a lot of things can change. And like I said, I have a lot of police friends. I have, you know, family members that have been police, were police. I was I was a correctional
Say,
officer.
how you gonna not say you was the police? Like,
Well, we go through the same training. That's why I can say some of the stuff I know. We do the same training. We are trained just the same way the police officers are trained. So what I'm saying is, I'm talking about what I know. We can do better. And there's a lot of people that I said that are friends of mine that I know that's not their heart. So we have to give them permission to make that change. You know, that code of blue standing together. Come on now, let's do the
well,
right
let
thing.
me help give you permission.
Yeah.
If you live in the city of Federal Way and you're looking to make a change, you want to be a positive change. Let's see how we can help you work within your job. Connect with us.
Yeah.
That's not possible. Let's see where we can. And there's several people, anybody that's ever been contracted to work for the collective can tell you we pay on time and we find more money and we will place you. Right? So
Mhm.
if you are
Well-
scared of losing your job, don't be. Because guess what? All power to the people.
Well, I
Right.
think that we need to look at real
There's some workers
constructive
out
things
here,
because
man.
that's a hard job. No, let's be real. That's a very hard job. It's hard mentally, it's hard
So let's
physically, it's hard
support.
emotionally. So what I think we need to do things and support them in those ways. So they hardly ever get a break to go and get some physical, mental health therapy or any of those kinds of things.
So,
They
Miss
just keep
Tirzah.
working. No, but let me
So,
talk, Lamont. I'm just saying it's
Go
real.
ahead, go ahead.
And we have to allow them to get that. Sometimes maybe we should say it shouldn't be a retiring after 20 years. Maybe it should be pay them really well and let them only be there for 5, let them be there for 10, but that they can walk off, you know, with good mental health and still a whole person. That's all I'm saying. We've got to be able to help them do their job as well.
You want me to add on to this a little bit? Because
Go ahead.
I know that out of the 4 officers, I can't think of the gentleman's name. There was one officer who I believe who actually did try to advocate, you know, for the kneeling of Judge Floyd to stop. But you know, when the numbers are against you, there's so much you can do. And I guess in response to what Ms. Tirzah is saying, you know, I don't think anybody here is assuming that all the officers are bad officers, to be honest. I mean, you can't
Absolutely.
see, there are going to be ones who are trying to do their job on a regular basis. But right now, because of what's going on, we know with this unrest and this situation and this changes has to happen, they're all been lumped in the same boat. I mean, you're seeing different stories now. I think there was a lady who, you know, trying to get something to eat and of course, you know, was mistreated. And the ones in Atlanta, I believe the reason why they're walking out, they're trying to say, wait a minute, certain things happen to lead to that guy's death, you know? So even though the system really is the thing that's at fault here, we don't want to start, you know, in a way, putting all these officers in prison for certain crimes that maybe it shouldn't really be necessary their fault because of something was already broken. And they're saying, wait a minute, we're going to stand
The
in
system
unity.
is made up of people, though, James. The
I
system is made
understand.
up of people who make their own decisions, right?
That's true.
And
That's
so,
true.
And so the people who were there, he made the decision. If one of the 4 officers who were there said, "Hey, stop kneeling on that guy, you're going to kill him," and he kept kneeling, he had the authority and he had the power to push him off of George Floyd. But he made the choice not to do that because the system that he's in, the union that he's in, supports the behavior of that officer, right? And so we can't just talk about systems and forget that systems are made up of people who make the decisions that make the policies.
No, I
You know
understand.
how am I about teachers? I have never seen a teacher stand up and say, once a teacher molests a student, we need to get all the facts.
Right.
We need to get all the facts.
Right.
Yes, it was wrong. After we get the facts, if it was wrong, then we might apologize. But fuck that. Get your ass over there and time out until we figure out what happened.
Right.
So here's the thing, right? The difference between the police and the teachers, to keep it real, is my life is on the line. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Because you got a gun, you got a license to kill.
Right.
But not only that, if we're responding to a situation, and my partner's supposed to have my back, and so if anybody watched the 836 to 846 or whatever with Dave Chappelle,
Yes,
was
I
talking
was
about
listening.
but if
I'll
you
share.
look at what but if you talk about what he talked about with the sheriff, the LA County sheriff, you know what I'm saying? Because he did that. The lady, basically, he said, abused a person in custody. He talked about it. He told his superiors, and he was fired because of it. So when you're talking about a situation like that, like let's keep it real.
That's things that we're saying that needs to change, Lamont. That's the kind of stuff we're saying that needs to change.
No, that's a fact. But here's what I'm saying. How do you change that, man? Listen,
well, one of the things is like they changed the law in I think it's Sacramento, California, after the last shooting of that young man that was shot in his grandparents' backyard. They now in Sacramento have to say what things they did before they got to the highest level. The highest level use of force is pulling out your gun. There are several levels that you can go to before. That should be your last resort. So now they have to literally say what they did to not have to pull out that gun. And then what did you do not to have to shoot? So if we made our officers stop and think that everything you're gonna do, everything you've been trained to do, did you do before you put your hand and took your gun out? And did you rethink before you actually shot? So we need to put things like that in place because they're taught to shoot, and they're taught to shoot center mass. They're not taught to shoot you in your arm or your leg.
Thank you.
That's not how we're trained.
That's exactly
That
it.
is not how we're trained.
Acknowledge that his name is
You have a last
Clark.
chance.
So the training and
His name
everything.
is Stephon Clark. I want to acknowledge that
Clark.
because that man lost his life in pursuit of something that changed the lives of citizens in Sacramento. And
so we should look at stuff like that.
Deserves the same justice of not, and let me promise you something. Malik's family is less concerned about money and more concerned about policy change.
They want their life.
Right.
The reality is the system has such a value on money that is all they will give us if we keep asking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So here's the thing,
And
right?
they require
money
us
every
to
day,
change.
so
The system is
they're
run
not
by
gonna run out of
people.
money.
Everybody's typing their little thing in. Everybody's adding their little thing to the scenario. The administrative assistant is signing off on this. The DA is signing off on that. The DA's assistant, all of y'all. I'm gonna need you to gather yourself. You have power.
So,
Do your job.
so
If they're using injustice, do not participate.
Right. That's what it's coming down.
Participating.
We have to stop that.
And to your point, Ms. Tirza, as far as like supporting existing officers, supporting the quote good apples, right? Like part of that, I just got a memory from a couple years ago. Unfortunately, I did not put the name of the person who was killed in this, but the memory was from 2 years ago. And I said, oh, the officer who killed this person had responded to 2 suicide attempts that day, 2 separate incidences where somebody had tried to kill themselves. That is a traumatic ass experience.
Absolutely.
Right? And there should not be an officer in uniform showing up when somebody is in such a state where they're about to take their own life. That needs to be somebody who is trained and prepared and educated to deal with that circumstance in a real way, to say, yo, let me get you the help you need. It's not gonna help me if a person in a uniform with a gun shows up and I'm trying to die. You know that, like that's not the proper.
They have something like that in place, but it's not as effective as it should be. So we need to make it better because they're supposed to. And I want to call out Charlena. You know who passed away, the lady Charlena. They knew Charlena.
Anniversary of her death.
They knew Charlena had problems already, so they should have made sure that they had things in place to make sure that woman did not lose her life. That was, I mean, so many of these things. You just have to think. You just can't always react. You have to think.
Right.
So check it. This is what we've been saying, man. Listen, they trying to use the police for everything. They using the police from traffic violations to saving cats out of trees and all type of stuff.
Well, that's why we need to talk about those things. That's why we need to talk about those things, because when you look at most cities' budgets, the police take majority of the budget in every city because we have them doing everything. So I get that, but that means we need to rewrite some stuff. Like now with cameras everywhere, you should be able to, just like you said, mail somebody a ticket. You don't need to be stopping everybody now. Mail them a ticket. Then how many people will go home
and move on?
Pulled over? How many people will go home? So there's other things that we have to be doing.
So the police was saying this. So here's the thing. Lynn might even remember this. Andy said, you know what I'm saying, the chief of police here in Federal Way, he said, either give us more officers, increase our budget, and give us the officers that we need, or what did he say, Lynn? He said, take away and give me these officers, but fully fund the equipment. You see what I'm saying? He was
But
cool
Lamont,
with
again, that's the mindset of them doing things as normal, doing things
Right.
as usual, not looking at how things need to change. And the reason why
Right.
they keep giving the police more money because we're not doing anything to help them not have to do the stuff that they're doing.
Right.
And
so
we need to
what would it look
so
like
listen,
is
so
the
listen,
reason
so
why
listen, so listen,
we were able to sit at the city
listen.
council last year and get almost $100,000 for the youth department. And
Back
and
at
came to the-
50,000, and they even
Well,
played
how
us
much-
on that because we wasn't paying.
And no,
they got it from the
50,000 over 2 years,
But
so it was
there's
only
other
25,000 a
programs
year.
that we can do just like that. If we take some initiative, the police doesn't,
So-
they don't have to do everything. We can help
So
them do
listen.
it, taking some of the stuff out. That's what I'm saying. We
So-
can't, because that's
so-
how it's always been done. Doesn't mean it has to continue that way.
Nah, I agree. What I'm trying to say is I agree with you. What I'm trying to say is what Andy said was, if you're going to give us less money to protect my officers, give us everything that we need. So he was like, instead of giving me these extra officers, he
Give
was
me
like, if you're not
military
going to
grade
give me
equipment.
exactly, that's what he said.
Right.
That's
And that means
exactly what
sitting
he
down
said.
to the table and having those conversations. and
No,
seeing what
mom,
is it-
mom. I need you to stop because you're not hearing my brother. So
No, that's
what he said was, if you refuse to give me all the money I asked for, including my unlimited overtime, that
unlimited overtime.
you might
Yep.
not be able to protect
Yep.
you. We
I
just
know that's
need
exactly what they said. I was at the meeting. I know exactly what they're saying, but I'm trying to look at it in a different perspective to let them understand that, yes, we heard that and know it was not right to say, because there's other things that they could be doing. If we do the right thing by helping them and showing them how, they don't have to do all that stuff. So they don't need the majority of the money in the city. We have one economic development person for this city. We have one tech guy for this entire city. That stuff
Now,
is
to be
not
clear,
right.
to be fair to Tyler, he did just get granted some money to give him some additional staff. But isn't it funny that they gave money to
Tyler who? Tyler who?
The IT guy.
Not the economic director,
Not
not the
Tyler, is
financial
it?
advisor. They gave money to IT. Do you see how ass backwards our city is?
Right.
And we are praying for Tim on a regular basis. I want Tim to live and to live long. He
Hey,
should have an assistant.
Long live.
Touch and agree.
Hey, the
He should have an
dude,
Because
assistant.
I
let
don't
me
think
tell
his
you,
name is
if you're
Tyler.
listening in a better way and you don't know Tim Johnson, if you're a person of faith, please pray for him. He is the reason we have any money. He is the reason we are still a city. It is not anybody else. That
And we
man
need
loves
him
this
to
city
be
so much,
healthy
it's almost
and
killed him.
strong.
What's the IT dude's name? Pray for him too.
Tyler Helm Street. No, that's the
Nah, what,
that's the
nah,
shoot.
nah.
What is his name?
My dude, he cool as ever too.
He's my guy.
Couldn't
I'm
call it.
gonna find it 'cause I can't.
Yeah. But anyways, we know
and
we
in-
know for a fact that there are ways that we could better spend the money. And so the what we need to do is a collective effort to stay on the city to make sure they are great stewards and they are doing what they're supposed to do with the taxpayer dollars. Basically, is what you're saying, Mr. Irza, and I agree with. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're saying the same thing. I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, when it came to the city, like when it came to the sheriff, not the sheriff, but to Andy, you know what I'm saying? Like, what he was saying was, and I felt him, and like Lynn said, he wanted military type stuff, you know what I'm saying? But in my eyes, I was like, because I said military, but because the police are reactionary, then maybe they should have updated equipment. But I'm with protecting and making sure that each police officer is protected to make sure that they have what they need to make it home to their families at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I mean, are people really coming for the cops like that? I mean, I feel I'm not saying that it's not a dangerous job. I don't want to give that impression. But I mean, do you really need a tank or assault rifles? How often are those used? Does every officer need an assault rifle ready in their car?
They don't even need chargers. You see what I'm saying? Like, they got brand new, like, they don't need none of that stuff. If we were to invest in other aspects of the community, if we were to invest in youth programming, if we were to invest in drug addiction programming, if we were to invest in stuff to make sure that people have housing and things of this nature, then I think that the crime would drastically.
Absolutely. They're crimes of poverty. Crimes of poverty.
But the problem is that the people that show up at the city council meeting made so much fuss that it was hard for us to get that. You know what I'm saying? It was hard for us to pull money away. Like Ms. Tirza said, we got $50,000, but it was over 2 years. So you're talking about $25,000 per year.
That's
you know
not even enough for one paid staff position, let alone supplies, let alone rent.
That went, you know what I'm talking about, because that was split. The 25,000 was split between 3 nonprofits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you're talking about like 3 groups splitting 25,000. But check this out, Angel. But they gave Center Stage $100,000 a year for 10 years in a free building for 10 years. So we was like, yo, can we get those same resources? And we promise you that crime will reduce. With what we do, we're not just hiring people from Seattle. We're not just hiring people from all over to act in these plays. We're actually bringing youth in from this area, and we're actually going to pay them and get them off the streets. But here's the thing. They don't give a damn. Everybody keep talking about these elections. Fuck the president. You see what I'm saying? Everybody keep talking about these elections. I lost by 167 votes. You would have had somebody, well, that was the primary, but you would have had somebody that would have advocated for real solutions. These cats that are in power right now, they're fugazi. Look at them.
Hold on now. I will say
I'm sorry.
Lydia Sepulveda has always represented for us. She has always stood up for us. She's always going to be for us. Now, I can only speak for people. I can say that they do their part sometimes.
Hey,
and that's
thank you for the clarification.
Lydia, we will never put Lydia with anybody else.
Hey, listen. Thank you for the clarification, and more respect to the people that actually advocate for the community. The rest of the city council,
and understand
you know
their job.
No, Greg and them. I mean, if you watched the other night when they were trying to advocate for this, it was Greg and Tron and, well, you know, the people of color. They were really speaking. They were talking history. They were connecting with their own history and their own path and where they've walked from, but they were falling on deaf ears.
It's very interesting because
Listen,
I just kind of get back to the point of our council. Our council is split pretty much. We have 3 minorities and 3 white people. And that's pretty much the direction their comments went. You know, it was like the 3 minorities were very passionate, you know. Lydia even spoke of how if someone didn't know it was her son, you know, it could be her child, her Black children. To hear that from the dais in the city of Federal Way, for one, is very key. It shows that representation matters. If there was 7 white people up there, we would never have had the community hear a leader's pain, even to this day. But there isn't, right? Because we've done a great job of electing candidates that truly represent us. So we're about split half and half. But those other people that are up there, like, figure it out. It is not our job to educate. It is not our job to teach you how to deal with our communities. It is your fucking job.
Well, one thing about, you know, people of color, we all have a history and a heritage of community. So we consider if something happens to your child, Lamont, that's our child that it happens to. You understand? So we don't look at it like, oh, this happened to Lamont's child, or this happened to Susie's child. You know, no, we don't look at it like that. That's our child.
That's an interesting cultural point.
That's a fact.
Okay. I don't know how to mute myself. I need to mute now that I've got off mute.
That's an interesting cultural perspective, right? I don't know if the culture of white supremacy has that same understanding. You know, like, do they see their neighbor's son? If their neighbor's son got killed, would they take
the play cousin thing, right?
Yeah. Wait, can I finish my thought now real quick? What I was gonna say, I'm sorry. Well, I was saying, like, in our culture, we take care of our families and everything like that. And I'm not saying they don't take care of their family. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I believe that culture came from, like, putting your child out at 16 or 18, you know, they're out. And most of our colors, people of color, that's not the case. Our kids can stay till they're safely able to get out, till they're an adult, or,
I
you
would
know, as
say
long
that's
as
not
they
really
need
that
us,
true
we're
no more
here.
because we've
And
adopted
we
policies
support
of
them.
white supremacy.
But that, you know, putting your child out to 18, that's never been our community.
Mom, that's
you
not
know?
true. That is
Okay.
our community right now. And that's
What I said, but that's not where it started at.
white supremacy.
Yeah, we're not
But
we're not
that's not where
operating the
we
way
started
we
at.
usually
Yeah,
we're not
that's not how it
operating
normally
under
was.
our
Yeah.
yeah, we're not operating under. So that was what I was saying with Judge Larson when he was talking about the community court. And I was like, that's literally what we did in African culture. And so we're not operating the way that we've adopted a me society, which was not brought to us. It was taught to us. And it was told to us that we had to worry about ourselves. Don't worry about the next person. You got yours.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna, we're gonna kill everybody else. We're gonna hit everybody else, but you're good. You're one of us.
Remember,
So
like
that's how they separate.
when we were growing up, it was like you are representing this family, you know. So it's not just about you. Every decision, every choice you make not only affects you, but affects everybody else that is in your blood family and everybody else that is in your community that knows you and cares about you. So it's not just about you, it's about everybody around you that loves and cares for you. So that's how we look at it. You know, that's why we're so easy able to adopt every other culture, because it's in us.
To Lynn's point, there is what was and where we're at right now. And so what we want to do is we want to get back to what was, which is family. And so it's funny because this whole thing with COVID, with the virus, it separates you from the elders, right? Which elders are very important in our society, our culture. And so like we're moving further away from our culture than what we want to do. And so we have to figure out how to incorporate the wisdom of our elders and the energy of the youth. You know what I'm saying? The and I don't want to say don't give a F, but they like we gonna tear this whole place up because we don't know what you guys went through. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where if you take they've successfully taken our elders out of our lives for decades, and we need to bring that in. And so not even I don't because we can go round and round and round and round. We know what we need to do. We need to continue to do that. Support the Federal Way Black Collective, support AIP, support Phenomenal She, support Game of Life, support your local black businesses, and let's do what we know what we should do. Let's be better people. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to treat the next person bad because they treated me a certain way. There's a way that we can operate and uplift our people without having to degrade everybody else. But as far as the police, let's just let it be known that there are other ways to do things. Police are not the solution for everything. They can't be at your traffic accident. They can't, deal with this person that is asking you for money outside of a store. They can't be everywhere. And there are better solutions to do so. So instead of trying to put everything on the police, and this is what I'm trying to say, because when Andy said, and I say Andy because I can't remember, the Chief Andy, Chief Huang said what he said, I understood what he was saying. He was like, in my opinion, I just want my people to be safe. Now, whether or not he supports whether officers do bad things or whatever, I'm not going there. I'm just saying what I got from him was that he was worried about the safety of his officers, and he was willing to at least sit down. You know what I'm saying? What happens after that, the mayor and there's it's politics. You know what I'm saying? But when we went after the budget, he said, if you're going to cut our budget, and Lynn remembers, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure. He said, if you're going to cut our budget, give us the military, type, situation, which I wasn't necessarily against. We can have a conversation after that. But he wasn't against cutting the budget. He just was saying the safety of his officers was what he was worried about. So if we can have a conversation,
job, though, Lamont,
if we can sit here,
as being the chief of police, that's his job, and we get it. So we understand why he did that. But
yeah.
again, and
But-
he's
and I'm
open to
not mad at him.
alternatives. He's open to alternatives.
Yeah,
We just have to
absolutely
get to the table and have those, set
The
them.
issue is like he'll be open
Right.
to a lot of
Yeah.
alternatives, but what we need is the fact that we're in a mayor strong city. So the only thing that can make anybody worried about any alternatives in this city is Mayor Jim
No,
Farrell.
baby.
You know it. You know it.
So if
So,
Mayor Jim
again,
Farrell
man.
decides that he is going to prioritize equality and fairness, then so will the city of Federal Way. Because all
Hey.
of the staff members serve at the pleasure of him.
Can I ask you a question though?
But he also serves at our pleasure.
Oh
Because
yeah,
he
I
can only
hate
go for so
that.
many years. And he
Hey,
needs
Lynn.
to take note of that.
Hey,
Because we
Lynn.
are.
Miss Tirza, Lynn,
sir.
everybody on the live right now. I just would like just answer me this question. Do you feel that a prosecuting attorney that has had a history of prosecuting people can have a non-biased opinion with the chief of police? I'm just asking you that. I feel like I'm saying, I don't want to speak in absolutes. I don't want to say that every situation is the same, but what I've seen with Mayor Farrell and the chief, like, he runs it like a prosecuting attorney. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm very
I'm not clear on your
very-
question because maybe you don't know that he was an attorney prior
was
to
a
being.
I think that's the
his
point
mindset
he's
as an
trying to
attorney.
make. I
Yeah,
think
he was a
That's
prosecuting attorney.
that's why he's running
So
his
you
city,
get-
because of his close
So
knit ties to
right,
have as a prosecutor back.
is
when
it
that was his
non-biased?
employment or his
Is
job.
it non-biased?
So I love y'all so much. I love this discussion so much. It's 11:30 almost.
Right. I respect that, Angel. Because you know what?
I love y'all.
Let me get back to the business. So it's 11:30, and we all must be at City Hall at 9 a.m.
And
Right?
y'all,
So let's be at City Hall at 9 a.m. in the morning. We're going to continue having these conversations. The rest of this week, we've got Juneteenth events all day tomorrow. Stay tuned because they will all be uploaded to the Federal Way Black Collective newly created YouTube page. And let's see, they'll have events Saturday
and Sunday as well.
and Sunday. So we'll
Mhm.
keep sharing those. Next week, we have Thursday Thoughts. Let's see, what are we doing next week? I don't even remember.
I didn't mean to cut the conversation off. I was just planning on going.
Right, I'm tired.
Nah. It's
Oh,
time to
wait.
go.
Next week is about to be so lit. Next week.
Don't say the
Senator
names.
Peterson.
Don't say the names yet.
No, not anybody else's. Senator Peterson is coming to meet with Black leaders on our show. Shout out to Senator Claire Wilson for letting him know that this is the only media outlet that can provide him the appropriate Black audience to have that conversation. So I am really excited. If you're a
Gotta be on our best
want to
behavior.
participate in that conversation, please join us. Please message me. I'll get you connected. So we're super excited about that. Join us next week. What else? Oh, Friday, tomorrow. If you are a family that is in need at Lifestyles Barber Academy, join Multi-Service Center, Angels, Royal Academy, Ambitions is Priceless. Angel, what's the other name?
Pele Esesiva Foundation.
And let's serve families. We provide food boxes, hot meals, hygiene products, one-on-one resource meetings,
Toys and books.
Toys and books, right? And meet your community, get involved. We got a lot of pamphlets, all that good jazz. Come drive through, bring your mask, stay in your car, and we got you.
Yep.
So check
So
in.
we'll see you twice on Juneteenth. We're gonna see you at the flag raising at 9 a.m. and we're gonna see you at the event from 12 to 4.
Yes. So check out the flyer. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Don't forget Sunday's Father's Day as well.
Yes, happy Father's Day to the fathers out there.
Make sure you tap in. Last week, we did do our Father's Day content just in respect for the fact that it was Juneteenth weekend. We wanted to be able to highlight other things so you can enjoy your families on Father's Day. But we did an episode about Black Fathers Matter last week. We'll go ahead and reshare that on Sunday for you. But I wanted to give the brothers a week during their Father's Day, break during their Father's Day week. And I just am going to go say publicly, I hope that they so remember me on Mother's Day next year.
Amen.
I'm going to be Thursday Thoughts that week. So be prepared. Have a good night,
Hey,
everybody.
thank you guys, man.
Love
Good
you.
night.
Cheers,
Bill.
Angel.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Peace.
Thank you.